Okay, so another 5 minutes of something to. I'm going to start with Henry Ford. It seems to be in the last few kind of 5 minute grabs. Seems to be a lot of about challenging in life, and dealing with emotions is obviously quite a difficult thing, because if you can't learn to manage your stress, your energy, your anger, just managing what's in here, happiness is one of the hardest things to achieve. Because if you if you have even half a think about what's been going on, instead of just binning it. You're not a complete narcissist, I hope. You will end up having regrets and other things. Me living my life is a kind of series of way I view it as a series of choices. Kind of limits the limits the level of regret, because even if I made a bad choice way back when, if I hadn't made that bad choice, all the other things that have come through in my life wouldn't have happened. So Henry Ford, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. So persistence is key, really. Persistence and patience. Okay, so it's a quote from Seneca. You're scared of dying, and tell me, is the kind of life you lead really any different from being dead? It's an important aspect of kind of actually live your best life. You can either let life live it for you. You can. There are a lot of things. I spend a lot of time in my life traveling, and one of the things I always chat about, or use as a reference of why are you traveling, why are you this. You always get challenges, less so now, because traveling is less what it used to be. When I started traveling, email was just coming out, so you kind of disappeared. I was still writing letters when I first started. I'm not that old. Just things have moved quite quickly since I started my life. But you have to live your life, and the quote that I was thinking, or not quote, but my father, when my parents moved, had a conversation, and kind of related the story of this man who hadn't traveled further than 20 miles in his entire life, and yet was extremely happy. And my father had mixed messages about what that meant to him, but what it meant to me was, you don't actually have to go anywhere to experience life, and it's important to understand that actually you can live your best life as long as you use this. So yeah. Okay, so a sharp distinction between humans and animals is essential. If we are to bend them to our will, make them work for us, wear them, eat them, without any disquieting tinges of guilt or regret, it is unseemly of us to contend that only humans can suffer. It's quite interesting, actually. I had to make a discussion about difference between actions in a movie with my family, and what's actually going on. So I had to kind of explain personification, where they were taking inanimate objects and superimposing personality and other things. Obviously, it was a computer, and at some point you will get an artificial intelligence that we will not understand whether it's actually sentient or not. Doesn't mean it's going to be all powerful. I'm not getting into this discussion of whether AI is right or wrong. I think any development that is used as a tool, a bit like a phone or anything else, it can either be used to just numb the brain and not do anything, or it can it only took the same amount of computing power of a mobile phone to land the first shuttle on the moon. So let's be realistic. The tools are there, and it's, but we do make a distinction between animals and the ability to suffer and humans, and it's something that's being swept under the carpet at the moment. Is they're actually creating an octopus farm to farm octopus, because we eat octopus and squid and other things, but octopus has been proven to be extremely sentient. I'm not sure it's in the same sort of intellect arc. I'm using those terms as pretty much made up because I'm not, but then yeah, it's a quandary. We, to maintain our society and everything else, need the type of protein mix, and as soon as we get to the point of where we can clone or do anything, at the end of the day, the direction that may be taken is, do we basically breed or genetically modify or whatever a pig to not be thinking, to basically plug into a tube and basically just be, take out everything that has bone, muscle, skin growth, and leave out the intellect and everything else, your brain and head and everything else, and you just have if we could generate that and then you farm that and clone that, you wouldn't have the philosophical quandaries or questions. It's a dangerous slippery slope, and I don't really want to get into it. I'm not sure how I would feel about doing that, sacrificing a few lives to stop sacrificing millions. It's a quandary that I'm not sure I'm qualified to, but it is something that we in the current day do have to actually take the whole suffering that animals go through and actually dehumanize it. Take the whole sort of World War II strategy of dehumanizing what we are doing to some other animal other than ourselves. But, yeah.